They're singing a song. I reckon they're singing, buzz, 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 let's go and get some honey for the bush bee man. Nah, they're probably saying, get us the bloody hell out of here. You can see this is how they come in the mail with their little helpers, and there's a queen in there. We've got 25 Italians and 25 Carnolis. So just for a cross-reference, I don't know, see what happens. Anyway, plus being a pretty crazy year, it's been hard to get older queens this year. So we're running a little bit later in the season than perhaps we normally would. But we're going to go and do a bit of splitting, give these girls some new homes to live in. It's pretty groovy. They've got their little candy that they can eat away. We've probably had these a little bit while, when they got sent on last Tuesday. So they've been in this cage for a week, roughly. They've been on my kitchen table here for a while. I've just been feeding them with a little bit of water just to give them a little drink so they don't dehydrate. And so the ladies have a little drink, and then they eat a little bit of candy, and then they feed the queen, and they all happily. Apparently they can stay in a cage like this for a month, I was reading, but I don't think I want to have it in there for a month. I reckon they get the shits up by then. Yeah. But anyway, they're very beautiful, so we're just going to strap them back together, pop them in our air-conditioned car, and go for a little toodle down the road. Well, a big toodle down the road.
Did you forget something?
Oh, not quite. But I didn't want them in the hot car while everything was going on. So anyway, not everybody had left the house yet, so don't you get too cheeky, Chop. We're off, honey! Golly gosh, here we go, eh? The usual ritual of cutting up bags. I was talking to someone the other day and they said they couldn't bring themselves to cut up all these beautiful old hessian sacks because you can't buy them anymore. I don't know, I think if I ever found an old hemp sack though, I might not cut that up because you don't see them anymore. That was back in the day when hemp was everywhere, or what was it called? It wasn't called hemp, it was called flax, I think my dad said. They used to grow flax down on the plains at Wollonga. He said they were great fields of the crap, you know, as high as this when a good year. But anyway, we'll light up our smokers, give these ladies a bit of a tickle up, see if we can't straighten out this situation we've got ourselves involved with. Oh, there's a footnote. There's been a few comments about the fact that we've got a few different brands on some of the boxes. So we're helping out Les, who's obviously got his own brand, and then I acquired some from Trevor at Wakery. He let us have a few boxes, and then I've bought some down here from Tom. And so he's got his own brand. Anyway, so the branding thing, we're just transitioning as we go through to rebrand the boxes. So fear not, they are actually our bees, we're just getting organised. Of course, going forward with your beekeeping, you've got to start putting some barrier systems in place because you've got different bees, different stuff that's going on. You got to love your women folk when they just love getting shit in order. I tell you what. So she's a champion. She's not only is she got organised in the back office, she's actually out here organised me in the front room now. So I guess not the front room, on the front line. I guess if we were using war terminology, we'd be on the front line here at the minute. Anyway, we've got some buckets with our chlorine happening, so we can wash our hive tools, and then we've got a bucket to rinse our hands in, which is what I'm going to do with this black muck. So we can keep ourselves all sterilised. And she's even got special boxes and special boxes with special gloves for special sites. And she's even named them. So we've got the red for the southeast spot. So this is going to be the red group of bees. I'm not sure whether that means they're going to have red dots. I'm not sure. She's got red on bits and pieces. So anyway, I'm going to have to not only call her the bush bee woman, she's going to be the bush bee barrier manager. It's the body. Everybody play a part. I'm not 100% sure what my part is, but still. Here we go. Here we go, here we go. Let's hopefully we can keep the thing alight. Everybody complains about me not being able to keep my smoker alight. But you would be surprised how many times the bloke says, can we just do that again? And I forget that I'm supposed to keep my smoker puffed.
Why do I always get the blame?
Got to blame somebody. Feels like some nice cool smoke coming out of there, so about to be nearly time to put my bee suit on and show you what we're about to do. Look at that. Wow. I don't think that's my suit. That's a bit too clean for me. Oh, I think that's Mum's reserve suit. I've got a little bit of tree left there from the other day. Rightio, we'll see if we can't get organised. And apparently I've got to move my microphone, otherwise there's all sorts of static electricity. No, not static electricity, whatever it's called when you ruffle it. Interference is the word I was looking for, isn't it? Hey ladies, what's going on? They're not even really up. They're still having breakfast. They're in there and they're saying, can you please pass the tea cakes? Would you like honey in your tea, darling? Oh, I reckon we might have some of that in this box. Somewhere around here we'll just have a bit of a fossick around. Honey and tea, that's very nice. I'm not really sure whether that happens in a bee box, but I think they're way too practical for that. Anyway, what we've got going on here today is we've got the way the previous dude was running these, he didn't have a queen excluder, which is fine. People don't like queen excluders, do like queen excluders. You know, everybody to their own. But I like to have them in there, just makes it easier to check your brood box. So I'm planning, if it works out, we're going to take some of the brood, well, the brood that's up the top of the queen excluder, and we're going to put a queen excluder in there, and then we're actually going to let some nurse bees run up there, and then we're going to make a split. And we've got some new queens in the cabin back at the caravan park. I'm going to pop them in here next couple of days, and hopefully we'll have an expansion and we'll be able to tidy up and get it into the program that we like. But everybody to their own. I mean, hell, you know, as you know, out there in beekeeping world, everybody's got their own ideas, and run with what works, and this works for us, so here we go. That'll depend what we find in here in a minute, won't it? Right, let's see what we've got going on in here, shall we? We'll just give them a little bit of puff under the lid. And they just think, what's going on, Mr. Bush Bee Man? What are you doing? We'll find out what we're doing in a minute. Oh, that looks good. Peekaboo! Hello, chickie babes! Look at that, they look happy. I'm guessing that board is to cover up the hole. There we go, we'll put you down there gently. So we're just going to scrape this little bit of stuff off the top, and we'll have a look what we've got in here. Hopefully we've got some brood up here. Then the fun part will be when we take this super off. Then there will be excitement. The ladies will be unimpressed for sure. Wowee. Because there's no queen excluder, so they've made a ball, like basically the nest there. So there'll be some brood above. We're going to put some queen excluders in here, and so there'll be brood up here in this chamber. But we don't really like to run like that, so we're going to try and, but I figured, rather than re-queening the whole exercise, we're going to do a split. So then we'll have some new queen blood, and then going forward, because I haven't worked these long enough to know which ones are completely feral and which ones are still workable. These girls are actually not too bad, but we'll find out when we pull them apart a bit. That used to be brood, I reckon. We'll see what we find in a minute. Everybody says hello. Mischievous excitement's going on. They're not sure what to think about that. So they're putting honey up here completely, so that'd be right, wouldn't it? Maybe my plan's not going to work. Perhaps they've already reared all this out and they've gone back downstairs. But you can see where they were brood. Ah, here we go. Here's a bit. So they've gone just narrowing it in a bit. Yes, 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 everyone. Take a breath. Nobody's happy. So here we go. This is what we're looking for. So you can see where they've got the brood up top. So they've made their nice circle right in the middle of all the honey. So they're beautifully insulated. So it is really a cool idea. It just makes it a bit hard to check everything. So in natural beekeeping, that's what you do. You have no queen excluder, and then you're basically, and if you're on a really good honey flow, you can do what's happened over here, and you just put the supers up high enough, and eventually they just store honey up anyway. But we normally just moving them around, it just seems easier to manage. So, but as I said at the start of the show, everybody to their own, really. We'll take a bit of honey here as well, I think, when we get organised, but we won't do that at the minute, because there's a nice frame, a couple of nice frames of honey here to give them a bit of room to play around with. Otherwise, if you do a split and you don't actually have any new frames for them to breed in, make their life very complicated. Obviously they can't lay too many eggs in that. Right, so now we're just going to pop that back in, slide everybody back where they belong. I'm just going to take this off and sit it on the roof on here. Everybody's getting a little bit toey, as they would. Ow! Yes, get out of there. This is when they'll really get excited, if they're not excited already. Right, now, there'll be much excitement now. Of course, we're just going to do a standard split, so we're going to basically isolate the queen downstairs under the queen excluder, and then we might actually take, if there's some more brood here, we might swap some frames around and we'll take some honey away just so they got some room to move. Then when we come back tomorrow, we'll take this box with no queen and we'll sit it on its new stand out the front. We'll turn this box around so every bees will get awful confused and we'll get a reasonable mixture of bees, and then we'll have a new colony, and these girls will rebuild because they've got a queen, and these girls will start again with a new queen. And hopefully we'll introduce a little bit more relaxed bloodline into the system, and we'll see what happens. Get that off of there so the queen excluder can sit nice and flat in a minute. We should have brought a box over here to change these frames down here, but anyway, we might do that in a minute. Not that we untied anything, did we? Got all excited, we did. Oh no, here we go, we got some stuff here anyway. Right, it's an empty one in any case. What are we up to, ladies? Oh, there's a nice young brood there. Now that's interesting, isn't it? So you never really know what you're going to find, but you see how they've actually cleaned all the honey out of there, because they're obviously starting to build up and they're looking for more room to lay some new larvae, so they're just starting to build their little rim around the outside of the nectar. And then you can see here where the lady's getting all enthusiastic, and she's got herself some beautiful brood coming up. Are you counting? That's 2 frames. And the spotty one. I hope there's not a queen in that cell, that'd suck. Where's the sun? Oh no, she's in here laying somewhere. That's good. You can see that there is an active queen here because you've got some nice young larvae happening. I had a phone call the other day from a poor lad who's only got 1 beehive, and his queen's bloomin' died on him because he can't find any new eggs and larvae. And he was trying to figure out what to do, and I said, well, at the minute it's very hard in Oz to buy a queen because of all the fires and everything that's going on. They're a bit hard to come by, and I haven't actually got any, well, I didn't have any spare ones. And so I said, well, maybe you could find your mate down the road if you've got another queen, you know, another beekeeper that's got some hives that are doing all right, and they, you know, obviously you haven't got any disease. Perhaps you could take a frame of eggs and young larvae and a bit of brood if he lets you, and you can take them back to your hive, and then they'll raise a new queen, as long as, you know, as long as the blooming queen in his hives aren't too crazy. So that's one way forward. Of course, an important part about when you're going to do a split off of your hive, you want to make sure everybody's happy and healthy, otherwise you're going to create more dramas. So these little girls look pretty good. There's some nice new fresh stuff again. We're not really going to bother about finding the queen, because otherwise that's another whole exercise of excitement. We just want to make sure she's operating. Cool, that looks pretty good to me. So I think we're just going to put one more frame out of here, which has got a bit more honey, so that everybody's got a bit of excitement. We're going to just put that in the side here so we can fix that up. And we're going to pop a queen excluder. We're going to shake everybody under here for a start, and then we're going to put a queen excluder on here. And then the queen will pretty much be guaranteed to be in the bottom box. There's no guaranteed with beekeeping, of course, because but that's the general plan. I mean, she's very unlikely to be on these honey frames anyway. We should have another box to sit these in so we can tip all the bees out of this super as well. So just hold on there. Oh. All right, so we're just going to shake everybody down. So I want to actually, I don't like sitting the frames out in the open, so I like to actually put them in the box so they don't get grass and crap over everything. I just get all of these and shake them in, even though I don't think it's too big an excitement, but you just don't know. And this just saves you a whole lot of bother. You don't have to actually find the queen and stick her in a cage. You can just keep her organised, even though I don't think the chicks are really impressed with us. Oh, hang on, where's my thing? Try not to make any more mess than we already are. Come on. They're being contrary. You always just got to love that extra frame on the edge. Ladies definitely don't like wasting any space. And we're just going to tap this on there as well. Not that I think she's here anyway, but still, she could be. And the lid out the front, probably. Just make sure she's not running around here, but... Right, now, so we'll put our clean extruder on. Oh. Of course, there's 1,000 different queen excluders you can buy. Do your blooming head in shopping for them. Just make sure everything's nice and level, because obviously they've built up to the bottom of the other frames. You want a nice seal to keep the queen in. So you don't want to be squeezing down honeycomb and all the rest of it, because all that does is make an awful mess for the ladies to have to clean up. So try to be a little bit nice to them. I mean, they don't need any more excitement in their lives. Right, I'm just cleaning up the side of the box, and now we're going to put all the frames back in the top. You want to get really excited, you just sort of have a bit of a quick look at it, make sure that you haven't missed anybody. If you've done it right, you're not going to have anybody stuck up here. The plan is the girls are going to run up here for that brood, so you'll get some nurse bees, and when we come back and we turn the box around, we'll get some field bees, some nurse bees, and we'll have ourselves a new box. A semblance of order, if we're lucky. But we'll see. Put that in there. We've probably got, what have we got? 2 more frames in here, so I'll just go and get them. We'll pop some new ones in there. So then they'll have some room to play. I'll be right back. Okay. So that's going to be stage 1. That's stage 1 of the project anyway. So we'll pop their lid back on. I think their emergency hole filling lid. I'd say that's a field repair. That's what I'd call it. 1 down, 60 to go. So if you're wondering why you don't want to do this all in the one day, it depends on how clean everything is. We've got a bit of honey overbear, so the girls are all tidying up what's going on. My scribe was asking me, what are the girls doing sitting out the front? Because there's some worker bees in there trying to tidy up all the honey that's dripping everywhere, and these girls are just out here licking it off each other and cleaning up and staying out of the way, some of them. That's why we're doing this over a few days, so we don't actually make... Well, obviously, you probably could do it all at once, but there's enough stress on them at the minute. So, the thing about beekeeping, you're no good being in a hurry, apparently. it's been a pretty big day here in the bee yard. Oh, golly gosh. Just as well the atmosphere and the surroundings are bloody picturesque. The ladies aren't very blooming happy, some of them. But anyway, this is the joys of trying to straighten out an apiary. Or at least, well, anyway, like I said at the start of this, really it's all up to everybody to do what they like to do, and, you know, I just like to keep everything in a bit of sense so that we can fill in that jolly spreadsheet over here that Mrs. Pink's got organised. So otherwise we won't know where the hell we are. My little bit of notepad that's all covered with honey and sticky crap's just not going to cut it. It's just not on. So here we are. Technology's coming our way. Bees are getting sorted, but the sun's going down. So I think tomorrow we're going to have to come back here, which was basically my plan, but I was hoping to get some of the others done. We're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to do our splits. So we're going to actually take the top off that we've put above the queen excluder, and we're going to put them on our new bases. And then we're going to put them back together and turn them around, and we should have, what are we going to have here? 20 new hives here, so, or maybe 30 new hives here, it depends. I haven't really counted that far yet. I think it's about 30 odd, but my maths isn't so good after I'm a little bit tired and a bit delirious at the minute. But tomorrow I'll be all fresh as a daisy and I'll know what I'm doing, so come and check that out.